Hello viewers, welcome to the Editorial Analysis by Drishti IAS. In this section, we regularly take editorials from various newspapers and news portals for a better understanding of the various issues happening in India and around the globe. In this section, we first try to link the editorial with our UPSC syllabus. Then we go analytical in order to understand some key points and at last some important concepts. Dear viewers, we truly hope that you like this initiative taken by Dristhi IAS and your feedbacks are important for us. So kindly feel free to give your important feedbacks in the comment section. So without any further delay, let's commence our session. Today's editorial is taken from the Hindu newspaper published on 19th of October 2020. The title of today's editorial is No Great Escape. If we try to summarize today's editorial, we can say that India's low global rank in tackling nutritional deficit calls for a revamped public distribution system in the country. If we try to link today's editorial with our UPSC syllabus, we can link it with GS paper 3 and primarily with the segments involving public distribution systems, its objectives, functioning, its limitations, revamping, issues of buffer stock and food security. Some key points of today's editorial. Now, India's poor progress on nutritional indices must dispel the hubris surrounding strong economic growth for years and turn national on persisting hunger, wasting and stunting among children. Now recently we all are aware that the World Hunger Index report came, and in that report India's position was at a really very sorry state. India ranked 94 among 107 countries, and it can be said that the assessment with the above index can be termed as serious with respect to the national situation. The country's score of 27.2 is the worst among BRICS countries and inferior to Pakistan, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh and Nepal as well. Now, what exactly the World Hunger Index is? This is an annual report published every year in the month of October. It is jointly published by Concern Worldwide and Wealth Hunger Health. Okay, so this is to be noted. Then the aim of this report is primarily to comprehensively measure and track hunger at global, regional as well as country levels. So their entire aim is to track the hunger index at global level with respect to regions and with respect to countries. Now, there are four important indicators under which the Global Hunger Index report is prepared. Now, those four indicators are: number one, undernourishment. Now, under the indicator of undernourishment, we actually find out the share of the population with insufficient calorie intake. That means the required amount of calories are not being served to that person. The second one is child wasting. Now, share of children under age 5 who have low weight for their height. Now, in this category, we only measure all those children under 5 years of age, and we actually look into one aspect, which is according to the height, what exactly should be the weight of that particular kid. So the height, let's say, is some particular feet, but the person is not having the apt weight accordingly, so we can say that the child is being wasted. That means what exactly we do here? According to the height of a children, we actually measure the weight, and if the significance is not correct, we say that the children is reflecting acute undernutrition. The third one is child stunting, that is the growth of the child has stopped. So it includes share of the children under age 5 who have low height for their age. That means at 5 years of age, children should acquire a particular minimum height. So if one person or one children hasn't acquired that height, we can definitely say that this is a clear case of child stunting, and it also reflects chronic undernutrition. The fourth indicator is child mortality. Now, child mortality, what we see here is what is the mortality rate of children under 5 years of age, right? Number of children dying per 1,000 children is what we call as the mortality rate. Now, the global hunger index determines hunger on a 100-point scale. Now, on a 100-point scale, 0, that means there is no hunger at all. You can say it's best. But if the score is 100, we say that this is the worst situation. People are not receiving the proper amount of calorie which is required, and the situation of that particular country is in a sorry state. Now, the global hunger index is developed around wasting and stunting under 5, like I told you, the share of the population with insufficient calorie intake, and child mortality. So these are the 4 indicators that we are talking about here. Index scores by international agencies have been critiqued as flawed for choosing the wrong weights in scoring, and also for not including genetics and social determinants, but that would because narrow view. See, there are many international agencies who have continuously criticized the index which is, or the report which is produced by the Global Hunger Index, because according to various agencies, the data which they have chosen with reference to weight and height, it is not correct. Also, there are several places with their own genetic factor, their own social determinants. Also, those figures are not taken into consideration. However, it is to be noted that even if these things are taken into picture, even if these things are taken into consideration, the overall picture might not differ that much. The data will be more or less same. The report that will be published, it will be more or less same. It's just an excuse that we are talking about here. The evidence from the NFHS 4 of 2015-16 is not very different. Now, what is NFHS? Now, first of all, it is to be noted that this is National Family Health Survey. Now, these basically are the statics, and this particular data, this survey, whatever data or stats is collected under this survey, they are used for health statistics in India. Now, it also indicates what exactly the true Indian side of inclusive growth, the most important one about which all political parties talk, the inclusive one, as well as the sustainable growth. So this exactly shows, this particular survey shows what exactly is inclusive and the sustainable growth. Also, it should be noted that the NFHS is a collaborative project of International Institute for Population Sciences Mumbai, IIPS, along with many other countries. Now, the funds are provided for this particular survey from 2 important agencies. Number 1, USAID, that is United States Agency for International Development, and number 2 is UNICEF. So, for NFHS, the data, or you can say the fund, is being received from USAID and UNICEF. Now, the first NFHS was conducted in India in the year 1992-93. After that, 98-99. Third one was conducted in 2005-2006. Fourth one was conducted in 2014-15. And it is expected that the report of NFHS 5 will be presented before the government in the month of October. Right? So, this was something with reference to the NFHS. Now, what exactly is the current data? What current data says? The NFHS 4 found that 5 stunting from chronic undernourishment stops at 38% and wasting as a result of acute lack of nutrition at 21%. That means, according to the NFHS data, almost 38% children under 5 years of age are suffering from chronic undernourishment, and 21% they are suffering from acute lack of nutrition, and because of that the child stunting and child wasting takes place in children. These data represent some progress at a drop of about 10 percentage point in both categories compared to a decade earlier. That means a decade ago, these figures were 48% was suffering from stunting because of chronic undernourishment, and 31% were suffering from child wasting as a result of lack of nutrition. That was a decade ago. The latest Global Hunger Index measure is a reminder that much work is necessary to bring the true benefits of the National Food Security Act to the unreached, not merely as hunger mitigation through cereals, but as nourishment through a diverse diet that includes protein, fat, and micronutrients. Now, it is to be noted that this recent data provided by the Global Hunger Index report, it is to be noted by the government that they have to do more effort. They have to put more effort so that the proper use, the proper benefit of the National Food Security Act is reaching to the people. And it should be noted that hunger mitigation doesn't mean that you are providing only cereals to people. Only one particular crop is being received by the people. It should be noted that the people, that includes everyone, that includes mother, that includes children, that includes men, everyone, they should have a balanced diet that must include the amount of proteins required, the amount of fat required, the amount of other micronutrients required. Now, here we spoke about the National Food Security Act, some idea about this National Food Security Act of 2013. Now, it was passed in the Parliament on 10th of September 2013, and the key feature to be noted that this act provides for coverage of up to 75% of the rural population and 50% of the urban population, 50% for the urban population, for receiving subsidized food grains under the TPDS, that is targeted public distribution system. If we look at this entire data, entire population, so it has been said that the National Food Security Act will cover almost 2/3 of the population. Now, there is one special provision of nutritional support to women and children. Also, it has been said in this National Food Security Act that besides meal, a pregnant woman, or you can say a lactating woman, during pregnancy and 6 months after the delivery, a woman will receive a maternity benefit of around 6,000 rupees. So such initiatives are very much important. But the biggest point is it must reach the person. Just by making the provisions will not solve the problem. It is to be ensured that these benefits are reaching the people. Now, what is the way forward? But there are worrying indications that the center has chosen the wrong course. However, even after implying such a good scheme known as National Food Security Act, even if we are having such a status in a Global Hunger Index report, then it can be said that something wrong has been done at the order of implementation. Now, we have to focus that any kind of fraud that is taking place in PDS or TPDS, it should be checked, it should be rectified, it should be removed completely. Now, we have to take extremely hard measures, and we have to ensure that the disabled people of the country, the elderly people, they are receiving such benefits. And one of the most important ways through which it can be done is the biometric verifications. Biometric verification of the people should be done so that any kind of fraud can be stopped. Strengthening the PDS with a focus on women's health would lead to healthier pregnancies, and strong supplemental nutrition under the ICDS scheme would give children a better chance at all-round development. Now, like I said, the National Food Security Act already has a special focus on children and women, as well as on pregnant women and lactating mothers, by providing them a maternity benefit of around 6,000 rupees. However, we heard a term here that is ICDS. Now, ICDS, what exactly it is? Now, ICDS can be said that it is a government program, and it basically provides food, preschool education, primary health care, immunization, health checkups to children under 6 years and their mothers. Now again, a very good scheme. Now ICDS means Integrated Children Development Scheme. This scheme was launched in the year 1975. However, it was disabled in 1978. It was relaunched in the 10th 5-year plan. So such initiatives such as all the factors of the ICDS are being received by both children and their mothers. Also, a proper public distribution system should be focused. That should be the most important idea of the government, that how it has to make sure that everybody should receive the benefits from such important schemes. Now, the importance of sustained immediate intervention is further underscored by recent findings of International Food Policy Research Institute scholars that 3 out of 4 rural Indias cannot afford a balanced and nutritious diet. Now again, a cause of concern for us. Now according to the International Food Policy Research, it is being said that out of every 4 people, 3 in the rural part of the country, they do not receive a balanced, or you can say a nutritious diet. It should be noted that right to food, it would all be meaningless. It would not make any sense if a very large section of India is still hungry, stunted and wasted. So our entire focus, the focus of the government should be on providing maximum benefits to all those who are actually in need of such schemes, such programs. So this was with the today's editorial. Now, the questions from today's editorial, one of the most important questions that can be asked is, what is the importance of public distribution system in India? Give a detailed idea about the challenges involved in it and what reforms are to be taken to overcome these challenges. Now, this can be a question for your mains examination. Now, some of the questions on your preliminary examination could be like, what exactly the Global Hunger Index is, who actually produces this particular report, what is the position of India, right? So these questions can be asked from the Global Hunger Index. Now some questions can be also based on issues of malnutrition, like they can ask you about the protein, energy, malnutrition diseases, kwashiorkor, marasmus. Okay, so all the important ideas about malnutrition, you should be having a clear opinion about that. Okay, so students, this was with today's editorial. I hope you liked today's video. Thank you very much.